everybody. My name is Brian Mulligan from Veteran Solutions for Life, bringing you today another great opportunity, apprenticeship opportunity to you for transitioning service members, veterans, and spouses, which is an amazing. We're going to have on today Hector Guerra, which is an outstanding person inside of this circle of spirit that we have going on. And I tell you, no better person out here to be connected with is Hector, because he's got a lot of feet in the fire with a lot of different things going on. So without further ado, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it over to Hector so we could talk a little bit about, he can share with us. He's got some slides to share with us about this opportunity, and then we can close out a little bit at the end. So again, Hector, thank you so much for coming on to us today. And if you don't mind, just before we start this, if you could just tell us a little bit about Step It Up and kind of why you're bringing them to us today and to our customers.
Yeah, so Brian, thank you for having me on here. So Step It Up America is a program that's managed by Xpanxion. It is an apprenticeship program. It's a national recognized apprenticeship program with the Department of Labor. This is also recognized with the VA under the VA OJT program, or on-the-job training program. Step It Up has been around for over a decade. They've been training transitioning service members and veterans, military spouses in the field of IT. So anything from cybersecurity to software engineering, end user computing, application support. There's a myriad of different opportunities that Step It Up America has. The great thing about Step It Up America is that it doesn't use your GI Bill. So it doesn't use any of your GI Bill money. You get paid while you're in training. So you actually become a Step It Up America Xpanxion employee as an apprentice. Okay.
Nice.
Now, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and go through these slides to kind of break down how the program works.
Great.
So this was first designed to help women, minorities, and also veterans. So veterans fall within a special group within the Department of Labor. These are folks that have a barrier to employment. As you go back into history and you see the hiring habits of employers, these were the groups that tend to have a difficult time in maneuvering through the application process with employers. And so the Department of Labor has put tons of money, I mean, tens of millions of dollars into getting these groups, and veterans happens to be the top category, into apprenticeship opportunities. So Step It Up America is building a diverse workforce. 67% of their clients are in multiple batches. Their program is normally between 4 to 7 months. These are accelerated boot camps. However, we don't call them boot camps because the difference between a boot camp and an apprenticeship is a boot camp does not pay you. An apprenticeship pays you while you're going through training. And you know, Brian, I'd like to emphasize that because for some people, it's hard for them to grasp that they're going to get paid without any experience to learn this trade and to be employed.
You know, while you said that, Hector, I made that note of OJT. It's that whole earn as you learn kind of thing, which is really exciting because I know for us, when I transitioned out, it was wondering to where my next income was coming in. But as soon as we had it, you know, you're going through this program. That's awesome, man. Thank you.
Right. And so 87% of these folks have been hired on by their clients. So let me kind of explain how that works. So a veteran goes through an assessment. From that assessment, they pass the assessment and then they would get an interview. Once they get interviewed, the employer on the other side says, yes, we would like this person. They would go through the training while they're getting paid between $15 to $20 an hour for 40 hours a week. Right now, the majority of the training is 100% remote. And that's because of COVID, but in most cases, normally the training would be at the employer site. And so why it says 87% is because the apprenticeship program is a year-long program. So it's for 1 year. And then once that year is over, then the employer has the choice to keep the person. And so based on, their experience and their training and how they work with the company, then from there, that's what drives up their pay, believe it or not. In fact, I'll tell you that we've had one cohort that graduated in early December. They're now making 55K. When they started the program, they were making, $15 an hour, whatever that comes up to. So, um, computer science majors make more than engineering majors. So, computer is a really big field to get into. As you may already know, the industry is worth $3.2 trillion. There's over 4 million jobs globally, and about 600,000 of those jobs are here in the United States of America.
Awesome. I love it to see that growth. They start off in the program $15-$20 an hour and the growth moves on as they move through the program, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's
Now,
awesome.
it's a pretty tough program, but what's interesting about the Step Up America program is that every person that goes through the program has a coach,
Mhm.
and so if they're falling behind in the training class, and remember, if they're still getting paid, I like to continue to emphasize that. So even though they're falling back, they're still getting paid hourly, and so those coaches would help them to catch up on their assignment, and to make sure that they pass. As you can see, the graduation rate is 90%.
Nice.
It's 90%. So initially they become the employees of Xpanxion, and then once the training is over with, then they would work for that company. For instance, right now we're looking to fill positions with a very, very, very large company called Vanguard. There's about 35 positions, and the seats are filling pretty quickly here. Um, and
Okay.
so those folks would actually start that program on the 19th of January. And so if you know of any transitioning service members or veterans, please feel free to share this with them.
Absolutely.
And so when you think about when you're applying for these positions, sometimes companies or these employers would say, well, you know what, we want them to have a 4-year degree. Okay. But here's what I want you to take a look at here, Brian. Um, so they got to have a 4-year degree or they have to have a GPA of 3.2 or higher.
Mhm.
If they're a veteran, it doesn't matter. So veterans
Okay.
can come into this program without a degree.
Nice.
In, in fact, veterans get preferred treatment. They go to the front of the line. So they'll take a veteran over a civilian anytime.
Awesome. That's great to hear that. I mean, because we are focusing on the veterans and things like that, so that's really awesome that they have those benefits and understanding of those our veterans having that little bit of step up on that as well.
Right. Now, what I want you to see here is that it talks about, 700 classroom hours. That's roughly between, 4 and 5 months. In some cases, some employers may ask for, some specific training. So with this program, let's just say it's software development. Um, Most companies are using JavaScript, Angular, React, SQL, some Terraform, and so forth. In particular, there are some companies that require Appian. So Appian is another coding language, but not all companies use that. So sometimes the training could be a little bit longer, but nevertheless, they're still getting paid.
And they're getting paid, and then they're getting those certifications needed to work in that field. So that's awesome to hear that.
And here's how the process works. They would start off with the curriculum setting. So this is where they would sit down with the employer and talk about, how the training is going to be laid out. The employer agrees to that. And then they would go and start to select candidates or applicants. And so this is pretty much the phase we're in right now. and then they would go through that boot camp program. And as I mentioned before, it did say 4 to 5 months, but in some cases, some companies may require some additional training as part of their intake process.
Okay.
And so, as again, I'd like to say it again, it's paid. They're getting paid to learn this.
Right.
Okay. And then they would continue for 12 months after that. So they would be working for that company for 12 months. Now, while they're in the program for that 4 to 7 months, they're getting paid $15 an hour. As soon as the education training side is done, then the pay increases.
Okay.
Um, so it may increase anywhere from $22 to $30 an hour.
Okay.
Okay. And then they would continue with that pay for 12 months. Once they finish that 12 months, then the company decides. In some cases, the company would say, "Hey, we'd like this person. They've been a great employee for us," and they would go ahead and make them another job offer. And in most cases, I've seen anywhere between 10 and 15K.
Awesome. And it's awesome because they're working through it right now. They're getting that on the job training. They're getting paid as they earn. They're earning their certifications and everything, the education that they need to be successful. And then, as you said, they're getting paid the entire time. And then at the end, moving into an actual job that's paying some significant money. So that's awesome.
Well, at the end, they get a nationally recognized Department of Labor certification as
Nice.
an expert. When you think about, when people think about apprenticeship programs, they think about construction, they think about, unions, they think about electrical workers and so forth. And those certifications from the Department of Labor, they go a long way. So when an employer sees that, they know that it's DOL certified, Department of Labor certified.
That's important to learn to understand that as well, because I don't think with us being in the military, when we transition out, we don't understand kind of how that is significant in the workforce. In careers where you have a certification, nationally recognized certification from the DOL. That's phenomenal because it, like you said, not only are you getting a step up because of our veteran status and moving into our veteran status, but you're also getting that as well. So it's just one more lift to bring you up to the top of the pile per se.
Right. So a step it up components to training costs. So you're probably wondering where the money actually comes from.
Yeah.
So in some cases, the money may come from grants. For example, every veteran qualifies for Workforce Innovation Opportunity Act grant funding. In addition to that, what they also do is they charge the employer a bill rate. So so they may charge the employer 45 to 60 to 70, depending on, what that pay is.
Mhm.
That's what they would charge the employer. And so this is the reason why they're able to pay the student and also pay their instructor and to have, those coaches in place in order to make sure that, they have a high graduation rate.
Right.
Believe it or not, the average pay for an apprenticeship graduate is about 75K. I know it doesn't say it on here, but when it comes to someone in the cybersecurity or the IT career field, what they're dealing with is that they would go through the IT training once they're done with it and they're working for that employer. In most cases, when you look at the job market, and it all depends on where you live. I've seen 120 to 150K for someone with this type of experience.
That's awesome.
So this is just a basic training outline of what they would learn. However, it's not always this, but this is just an example of what is being taught. For example, if you look at the Java.NET mainframe is more for your IBM servers. In fact, we are about to build a cohort for March for the IBM mainframe. So IBM is looking for for folks for their clients. Their clients are mostly banks.
Okay.
And then when Python is kind of the coding languages that you would use for like scripting commands and so forth. And then your RPA, Prism, Pega, those are coding languages that are relative to robotics. So there's just so much to learn in this company. Like I said, this company's been around for over a decade, and um, they're really great at what they do.
I like how it says the Step It Up customizes the training to your needs. So I guess like who they're looking for to place, uh, those might not be all of the things that they learn or get taught. It's just depending on the needs. So I like how you said that's an example of some of the stuff, but it might not be all of the stuff that they'd get, right?
Correct.
Okay.
And and the great thing about apprenticeship programs like this, um, and there's a lot out there, but most of those programs would want a service member or a veteran to go through some kind of a pre-boot camp. This program does not do that.
Oh, great.
They take the risk. They take the risk,
That's
you
awesome.
know. And another interesting thing is that, as you can see here about a typical computer science degree, with this program, unlike when you're sitting in a college and you're just being lectured and you're having to learn on your own, you're in front of an instructor. You have an instructor teaching you. You're
Nice.
able to ask questions. You're able to make mistakes and learn from them. And
Yeah,
this
that's
is
always
what,
beneficial.
yeah, and these folks that are coming out of here are doing a great job. And here are just some testimonies here, as you can see. These are some of their clients.
Nice.
Now they do work with. I'll list a couple of companies just so you can understand. So IT is in everything. So Penske needs coders. Penske is one of their clients. They're out of
Right.
Florida. JB Hunt, they're out of Arkansas. They also need coders. You know,
Yeah.
and as I mentioned, Vanguard, Walmart has a need for coders as well. Um, I mean, there's so many opportunities out there.
And we talk about that a lot too. When somebody's like, well, this might not be the organization that you're looking for, but they might have something inside that organization that you're looking to do. So we always want to start that networking, and you hit it right on the head is, the company might not be the company you're, thinking about, but they might have something in there that's fitting for what you're wanting to do. Very good.
Yes, IT is everywhere.
Yeah.
IT, I mean, every business has to have internet presence.
Right.
Every business. And most people don't think about that. They think, oh, it's a niche market. No, it's vast.
Yeah.
Every business has an HR system.
Yep.
It's everywhere.
Exactly.
So, as you would know, Joe Biden went down to the Detroit School of Digital Technology, and this is when they presented their support for growing the economy. And the money is in IT. And I
Yeah.
can't stress that enough.
Absolutely.
And you can see here's some of their um, here are some of their locations. So this company, UST, has 20 plus years of experience. Xpanxion is just an offshoot of UST Global. So UST Global is actually an Indian-based company. As you can see, there's India, but they're actually doing business in the US.
Okay. Awesome.
And there's the contact information if anybody needs any information there. I don't recommend calling that number.
Yeah.
But
That's a
if
international number.
anybody has any questions, all they have to do is just, I guess, get with you, Brian,
Yeah.
and your team.
Yeah. Awesome. I mean, Hector, that's awesome. And we really appreciate you bringing this opportunity to us and our service members and veterans and spouses. I mean, it's a lot to us that we can reach out and have people like you that really just are looking out for our soldiers and our service members to transition. And that second day, I mean, that second chapter is more to the front of the line than just in line, right? I like the opportunity. I like that we're able to earn as they learn and continue to move forward. The ability to move up in their progress as they move forward, get paid even more is just amazing. And if anybody is interested in this, please reach out to either go to our website, or you can reach out to support@vets4l.com and send some information with that. But again, really, Hector, appreciate you coming on today. I know it's kind of a late time right now, but that's okay because this is being recorded. We're going to be able to share it with anybody and everybody. So just wanted to say thank you so much from Vets4L to y'all. Appreciate y'all for jumping on and watching the video with us, and we love you so much. Talk to y'all later.